Well, let's see how long this lasts. I only have, I think, 17% left on my phone, but I thought I'd follow up my first vlog yesterday with just a brief one. Let's see how much it allows me to do. So it is October 15th, a beautiful, beautiful, gorgeous day. We had rain for a couple of days, finally, and that has taken our temperatures down by about 20 degrees. So what I've got in front of me here, by the way, it's 2019, October 15th, 2019. Just want to clarify that. And we are in Wake Forest, North Carolina, near Raleigh. This is the box. It's huge. And all the internal components that are cardboard of the grill I just put together. That was for my husband's birthday. So what I do with cardboard, the reason I'm showing it to you and why it's out here, is what I do with cardboard is I put it wherever I don't want weeds, and then I cover it in some sort of substrate like this mulch. You can see here, nice thick double layer of cardboard, and then the mulch or whatever it is you have, and that will kill off, suppress, suffocate any weeds that you've been struggling with very quickly. Now obviously, see, I was going to put it here, but I've already spread so many wildflower seeds here that I think what I'm going to do is just scythe this area nice and tight and either turn it or just hope that the wildflowers will win out next year. These are my sweet potato slips. I don't know if I spoke about those last vlog, but I took 3 sweet potatoes that were rotting that I bought, organic sweet potatoes that I bought at the local grocery store, and we just didn't get around to eating them. And I just stuck them in the ground here, and they provided me with so many slips, and they're still continuing to provide me with slips. So I just keep planting them. They'll die back over the winter, and then they'll come back nice and strong in the spring. I just wanted to share this amazing weather with you guys. That's my little waterfall you can hear back in there. Finally, all the winter vegetables, my radishes, I believe that's a kale in between there. They're all taking off now that it's cooler. Still have a few passion fruits. Oh, here comes my daughter. Still a few. And of course, we're still getting tons and tons of tomatoes. Let's take a look at the backyard. It's so funny. My daughter listens to the same music I listened to 30 years ago. So this is our backyard, really quite dreamy. My favorite tree. We have a ton of acorns, and I was trying to see on the internet what I could do with them, and it turns out you can, as long as you boil them, the tannins off over and over again. You can turn them into flour. Okay, so this is another one of my hotspot zones, another patch of it. I do my meetups back here, so this part has to be kept mode. But, you got anything? Okay, is that my package?
That's all your mouse, not mine.
Oh, thank you. Oh yeah, awesome. So I do have to keep that mowed pretty tight right here. That's our pile for the bonfire that we usually make when it's cool enough, which this week we'll be able to do it. So we're having a meetup about scything. I got my scythe. I've been practicing. I have to do a little bit more practice today. But the hotspot zone does need to be mowed on an interval basis. And oh, I am so happy to see more of the fleabane / white wood aster popping up everywhere. That is a northeast U.S. native, and so is the blue mist flowers you see over there. They're a little bit more purple than blue, but they're called blue mist flowers. And some of the grasses popping up here are native as well. I'm still overrun with non-native invasives, but it is getting better. As you can see, some of these natives are starting to really not dominate yet, but they are starting to give us some competition. This is a pecan tree that the beaver took out for me, but it has resprouted from the roots and become more of a pecan bush. Well, let's see. Oh, something's in. I'm really thrilled. We're getting a nice hedgerow here. And it does have quite a few blackberry bushes in it. So you can see these are very thorny. Got those thorns on there. I do like having those in my buffer zone hedges because they do discourage deer. Although I love watching deer, I don't particularly want them on my land because they bring ticks, and their droppings are not too pleasant. But smaller animals, especially the ones that I would welcome, like possums. Yes, possums, they eat ticks. They eat tons of ticks. And some of the aquatics, like the water snakes, I don't mind them coming up, the black snakes, because they eat and attack the copperheads. Obviously, I would want help with that. So I'm really thrilled by how this is developing. Look at all this blue mist and white wood aster. Really, really thrilled. This is looking not just beautiful, but look at the bees. Look at the bees. Just loving the wood aster. So much activity. I'm gonna have to take my sweatshirt off. It's quite hot still in the sun. Somebody's a happy boy. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Yeah, you like being down here. You like being down here. Hi. Flossie. You might want to come up here if you don't want to get bit by a snake. Flossie. is she nibbling on down there? Well, all this green down here, sorry, all this green down here is actually supposed to be underwater. It only developed because in the early summer we had a rainstorm that broke out the dam creek, and the water's been this low ever since. They haven't fixed it despite generous amounts of money by all of us. But at any rate, there's only 3 of us actually on the lake, so I suppose it's a low priority for most people in the club. But for us, it has actually, even though it's not as desirable to have the water this low, it is interesting to watch how things develop on the shoreline. Very green, very lush, very diverse. I don't know what this stuff is growing down here. It seems to be taking over. Sorry about the shaking. I had 2 double cappuccinos, so my hands are quite jittery. I love this grass. I have to look it up. I'm not sure if this is native and desirable or if it is non-native and invasive. But like I said, I'm really happy to see these 2, the purple and the white. That is a good sign. So I thought I'd show you the backyard. This is really where we have a good example of a man-made buffer zone, where the previous owners had planted along this property line some very successful bushes. I have no idea what they are. They do produce flowers in the spring and summer, and a couple of trees. And then I've added a wood pile. Let me show you. You gonna show us? So the branches that I cut off to clear the road at the top of the property, I brought them down here and made a wood pile. And now things are growing through that. So I think this is a good start. Wherever there's openings to the other property, I start to fill it with some wood piles, which allows for the wildlife to have some habitat and for the bees to have a place to nest. There's a bit of poison ivy in there, and certainly a lot of brambles. So that's good because it discourages humans from coming through. As I mentioned in my article, that's probably a good outcome of the buffer zone. Wildlife welcome, humans not. I'm sure there's a few of you out there who can relate to that. All right, well, I think I better stop here so it won't get as long, but I thought I'd just take you on a little tour. And I think the next time I'm going to have to make sure I haven't drunk as much coffee. Have a great day, guys.